Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we unravel the mysteries lurking in the shadows and explore the stories that send shivers down your spine. From unsolved crimes to paranormal encounters, from eerie legends to the unknown, we're here to take you on a journey into the unexplained. Every story has layers, and every layer brings us closer to the truth or deeper into the mystery. So grab a seat, turn down the lights, and get ready to dive into the unknown. This is the Deep Dive. Ever get this weird feeling in a place, like something's just got off?
Oh, yeah, totally. Goosebumps kind of.
Exactly. Most of us probably have at some point.
Yeah.
But what if that feeling, that weird vibe, it leads you to a mystery? And then you disappear.
Okay, now you've got my attention. That's seriously creepy territory.
And that's exactly what we're diving into today, this unsettling story of Kenny Veach and the whole enigma of the M caveat in the Nevada desert.
And this one, it's not just about the mystery, right? It's about Kenny himself. A seasoned hiker just vanishes, leaves behind these cryptic clues, and then nothing.
And this is one of those cases that just grabs you, all the little details, the online stuff. It just makes you wonder.
Exactly, and that's what we're doing today, a deep dive into all of it. We've got Kenny's own YouTube channel, some news articles, trying to piece this puzzle together.
Right, and like any good mystery, sometimes the evidence raises more questions than answers.
For sure, for sure.
Like something right out of the X-Files, But before we go full Mulder and Scully on this thing, let's talk about Kenny. This wasn't some movie wandering out there unprepared.
Oh, absolutely not. We're talking years of experience exploring the Nevada wilderness. 2 decades, actually.
This guy, he even documented his hikes on YouTube, called himself Snake Bit Him. Talk about foreshadowing, right?
Right. He was known for going solo, minimal gear, relied on his knowledge, his instincts. He knew the desert.
So this wasn't someone who'd just lose their way easily. He was going after something specific, this M cave he'd been talking about online.
And that's where it gets really strange.
Tell me about it.
No photos, no one else claiming they've seen this thing.
Yeah.
It's like this cave only existed for Kenny.
A digital legend, almost.
Exactly. Fueled by his descriptions, the mystery of it all. No concrete proof, just this. Void.
And then there's the detail about the vibrations. This is where it gets really freaky. Kenny described feeling his body actually vibrate as he got closer to this supposed cave. Said he had to turn back because of it.
Most people would nope right out of there at that point.
No kidding. So was it real, this phenomenon, something we don't understand about the desert, some geological what's it, or was it all in his head?
The desert plays tricks on you, Especially when you're alone for long stretches, your senses get distorted.
The line between what's real and what's not.
It blurs.
Exactly. So we've got a seasoned hiker, a phantom cave, unexplained physical phenomena, and then on his third attempt to find this place, poof.
Gone. Vanished. November 10th, 2014. He tells his girlfriend he's going for another solo hike, says he'll be back in a few days, the usual. Leaves his car at the trailhead, same spot he'd used before. And that's it. Last confirmed sighting.
But it's weeks later when things take an even stranger turn, right?
Well, yeah. Searchers find his phone. And some loose change, oddly enough, near an old mine shaft.
No Kenny, though.
Nope, gone. Like he wanted to leave a trail, but why?
It's like something out of those missing 411 cases you hear about.
That's exactly what it sounds like. These disappearances, usually in or around national parks, wilderness areas, they share these baffling similarities. Experienced outdoors people just vanish, no trace. Sometimes they leave personal belongings behind, too. Just doesn't make sense.
Hold on, back up a bit. Missing 411, I've heard that before, but it always seemed kind of out there.
Yeah, it's gotten popular online with people who study these unexplained disappearances and all. No official missing 411 designation or anything, but the patterns are hard to ignore. And Kenny's case, it fits right in.
So we're talking about a pattern here. With Kenny's case, I mean, it's like these other missing 411 cases, all these weird similarities. But what's the official explanation? What do they say happened?
That's just, there isn't one. Not a clear-cut answer anyway. Officially, it's usually chalked up to accidents, getting lost, the elements, that sort of thing.
Right,
But for anyone who looks deeper into these missing 411 cases, the lack of a real explanation, especially with experienced people like Kenny, just makes you want
And
to.
it's creepy, right? Like seriously creepy.
Totally. So if it's not just accidents, then what? What are the theories?
Well, you got your usual suspects when it comes to mysteries like this, right?
Lay it on me.
Foul play is always a possibility. Maybe Kenny stumbled onto something he shouldn't have. Or maybe there was someone else out there with him, someone we don't know about.
Always a possibility. And then there are the other theories. The ones that get a little more out there.
Okay, hit me with those.
Government conspiracies, secret experiments, the works. Some even go as far as extraterrestrial involvement.
You're not going to tell me you think aliens abducted Kenny out there in the desert, are you?
Hey, I'm just saying. Got to keep an open mind, right? Truth is, without hard evidence, it's all speculation. But the proximity of these disappearances, not just Kenny's, to military bases, restricted areas, it makes you think.
Okay, so what about Area 51? I mean, it's practically next door to where Kenny disappeared, at least in desert terms. Any chance he wandered onto some top-secret testing ground?
Not entirely out of the question. Remember those vibrations he described?
Yeah, super creepy.
Some people think it could in some kind of experimental technology. A deterrent, maybe? Or even a cloaking device of some sort.
Whoa! Okay, now that's just wild speculation.
Maybe, maybe not. But if Kenny stumbled onto something they didn't want him to see, well, let's just say they have ways of making things disappear.
Okay, you're messing with me now. But seriously, putting aside the more out there theories for a sec, what about Kenny's state of mind? His girlfriend mentioned he was struggling, said he'd recently quit his job. Could this have been on purpose? Like escaping his problems?
It's a possibility, definitely. He was drawn to the solitude of the desert. It was his escape, his refuge. But it's also harsh, unforgiving. That kind of environment, it can amplify feelings of hopelessness, despair.
You're saying the desert itself could have played a part, even if it wasn't a conscious decision on Kenny's part.
Exactly. There's this concept called death by misadventure. It's not intentional, not exactly, but a series of choices, maybe influenced by someone's mental state, it leads them down a dangerous path. And the consequences, well, they can be tragic.
That's heavy, man. Adds a whole other layer to this whole thing. But let's go back to the evidence, or rather the lack of it. Search teams found nothing. Which is strange, right, for someone who knew the area.
And that's another one of those missing 411 hallmarks. It's like they vanish into thin air, even in areas that are thoroughly searched. Defies logic.
It's like the desert just swallowed him up. No trace.
It's what fuels all the speculation, right? The unexplained forces, the strange occurrences.
So we have this perfect storm of weirdness, mysterious location, no real answers, just weird vibes all around. It's like something out of a campfire story, but it's real.
And like any good mystery, it's the questions that stay with you long after the story's over.
Speaking of questions, we still haven't touched on the phone and the change. Why leave those at the mine shaft? What do you make of that?
It's been bugging me this whole time. If Kenny knew this area so well, right, desert survival, all that, leaving a trail even, why ditch essential gear? It makes zero sense. It'd be like tossing out your life preserver in the middle of the ocean. And that's what gets investigators in these missing 411 cases every time. It's that inconsistency. What's left behind where? It's almost random. And logically, someone like Kenny, he wouldn't just abandon supplies unless...
Unless there was a reason.
Exactly.
So what are we talking? Was he being chased? Did something spook him that bad? Maybe he was trying to hide, leaving a trail only he understood?
Those are all possibilities, especially when you factor in the psychological aspect. Someone in distress, disoriented, could even be a medical situation we don't know about.
Wait, so you're saying the desert itself could mess with his head that much, make him act irrationally?
Oh, absolutely. Dehydration, the heat, even a sudden change in altitude. It can cause confusion, hallucinations, even paranoia.
So in his mind, it made sense. But to us, looking back...
It's baffling.
It's like this whole story. It's got this tragic feeling woven right through it, you know?
It reminds us that nature, for all its beauty, you got to respect it. It's a powerful force. Sets the stage, but it also gives us secrets.
So where does that leave us? After all the theories, the what-ifs? What's the takeaway here?
We have Kenny's story. And as much as it's this unique individual thing, it's also universal in a way. We're drawn to the unknown, right? We fear it, but we want to make sense of it.
And this story, it's unfinished. We may never know what really happened out there.
But isn't that part of it? Part of why it stays with us. It forces us to confront that. Not everything has a neat answer. Some mysteries, they just linger.
This whole deep dive, it's given me more questions than answers, that's for sure. But it also makes you think, about those mysteries just beyond the edges of the map. The stories of the people who vanish into them.
Sometimes those echoes, the whispers, that's all we have left. Little pieces of a story that remind us how much we don't know.
Exactly. And to everyone listening, we want to hear from you. What do you think happened to Kenny Veach? Is the M Cave even real? Share your theories, your thoughts, even your own strange experiences down in the comments. And until next time, keep exploring. But be careful out there. You never know what mysteries you might uncover, or what mysteries might uncover you. And that's a wrap for this episode of The Deep Dive. I hope you enjoyed today's exploration into today's mystery, and that it gave you some valuable insights to think about. If you found this episode helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to stay updated on all our future deep dives. As always, thanks for diving deep with us today. Stay curious, stay informed, and we'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.